Welcome to TBI Live. Today we're here talking about the big news at AOL. This morning, Tim Armstrong announced that he'd be letting go about a third of the staff, or 2,500 employees, in a move that's supposed to save the company about $300 million. Now, while the move was expected, it still seemed to have caught AOL employees off guard. A lot of them are saying that they're shocked, but perhaps they shouldn't be, Nick?
Well, I think they're shocked because it's always surprising when your company goes through a layoff. And I think also there was a report about a week ago that they'd cut 1,500 or 1,000 people. But we pretty much always figured all along they needed to cut about 2,000 people, if not more.
And why do they have to get rid of that many people?
Well, a couple reasons. I mean, the big one is that AOL is going to be a different kind of company going forward. They're a content production company, sort of in the vein of Gawker Media, except a lot bigger. So Gawker has 9 sites. And their HR, their sales, their editorial, it's all about 140 people. So if you extrapolate that over the 100 sites that AOL has, that's about 1,700 people. I mean, that's just a rough estimate, but it gives you an idea of how many more people AOL has right now than it needs to run that kind of business.
Mm-hmm. And to that end, we've heard talk that there was going to be elimination of sort of their photo department, because that's just not something that's necessary in sort of a blogging kind of media business.
Yeah, that's a good sort of way to look at it. It's like you see they're getting rid of all these editorial photojournalists and photo editors, and they're going to ask their writers to just, hey, find a photo, put it on the site. It's a lot cheaper that way.
Yeah, that's what we do every day.
That's what Gawker
and
Media
that's what
does.
Gawker and a lot of smaller
absolutely.
upstart companies do. So you've also heard about what the severance packages are shaping up like for the employees?
Yeah, let me go to my notes. Yeah,
Okay.
So for the senior vice president level, it's going to be, what's interesting is they're getting, the whole thing about this whole layoff is it's a voluntary layoff program. So they're trying to incentivize people to quit on their own ahead of the company's spinoff. So they have to let them know by December 4th. So if you let AOL know that you're going to quit before December 4th and you're a senior vice president, you get 9 months severance, health care, and outplacement services. If you don't let them know and you end up getting canned in Q1, then you only get 4 months severance. So for vice presidents, it's 6 months versus 4 months. For the director level, it's 4 months versus 2 months. And for the subdirector level, it's 3 months versus 1 month.
And you were saying, or have you heard, do you think that people are going to be taking these buyouts? What is your feeling on this?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it both ways. So I think I've heard from the content side, people are like saying, oh, this isn't that attractive. I mean, also if you look at it, people in media, it's not exactly a great job market out there anyway. So a lot of them are like, oh, I'm going to stay here. But I have heard other people saying, this is a pretty good offer. AOL seems kind of like a mess. This makes you feel like it's a mess because it's another layoff. I'm out of here, So, and another sort of strategy for this buyout strategy is that it kind of gets people who are willing to bet against AOL out of the company, which makes a lot of sense, So if you stay with the company, you're going to get stock in AOL after the spinoff, And if you don't get laid off, you're working for a company and you have stock in it, and presumably you think it's going to go up, and that's why you're there. But if you're a senior vice president, you've been there for years, you think the strategy is not going to work. This is your way of saying, you know what, I'd rather just have an extra, 5 months to find a new job or just collect 2 paychecks than take AOL stock. So it's getting rid of some dead wood and people who don't believe in the strategy, which is smart, And you have to applaud Tim for cutting so deep, so fast. I mean, a lot of times the worst thing to do is to do this drip, drip, drip strategy where you're not cutting deep enough, fast enough. And this way you get it done, you get it over with, and it's collaborative. The employees get to participate in it. So I think it's pretty well handled.